What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Hopefully, really good. So I'm about to do a review on Soma, my honest opinion. What I think about it, it's a very cool game. I like it. If you haven't played that type of genre, survival horror, um, and you're trying for something different that's kind of like horror-ish, I definitely recommend that. I think that's one of the best, safest bets of horror because that's like pure horror. There's nothing unhorror about it. If you watch the movies, you're watching those defenseless people um, how they're like running away from the killer or something. That's pretty much what it is, when you play these types of games. Like I'm just getting into them, to be honest. To tell y'all the truth, barely just getting into them. There's so many games out there, but this is kind of like one of them. Compared to some other games, they're more psychological. This one, Soma, is definitely more of a thriller, I would say. You're spending most of your time running away from something that is trying, like just looking around or trying to chase you, and it's a really good game. I think if you're looking for that in particular, you might like this. Um, it's a really dope game. You know what I'm saying? Um, there are other games, like that over there. Um, like uh, like Layers of Fear is definitely more psychological. Definitely recommend y'all try that as well. It's so freaking crazy. It's 100% like inside your head. This game is like same gameplay, but flipped to be super thriller, super thriller. So yeah, if you like if you don't want to get too crazy, but you want to try something out, that's awesome. It has a pretty interesting line and story. I definitely recommend this game. It's pretty cool. I like it. I had lots of fun with it, and every second, to be honest, I enjoyed every moment. Um, every moment was really cool. From running around and like grabbing stuff and like doing things, and there was some kind of like the whole game was like very unspoken. Like it does not hold your hand. It doesn't tell you like this is what you need to do. There's no way for you to find out. You just have to explore, look around, and survive. It's like it has that survival element, but it's not like a survivor that's like you have to look around and craft stuff to survive, like sticks or water. No, it's not like that, but you have to definitely solve kind of like puzzles, kind of like The Legend of Zelda or something. It's a pretty bad example, but you have to solve puzzles to keep going in the story, and that's 100% what it is. It doesn't tell you what you need to do. It doesn't tell you how you need to do it. It just tells you you need to do this, and that's all it tells you. So yeah, I think it's a very cool game. I definitely recommend it. It was awesome. It was probably one of the best games I ever played in terms of PS4s on the PS4 plays on the PS4 and survival horror game. Also, this is only the second one that I play like this, where it's like you're totally defenseless. There's no way to fight back, and I think that's very cool and awesome. Uh, just saying, it's very dope. I like it. But I would definitely say that there are its moments where you're just like, oh man, like you can't bash or boo on something that you just wanted to end because it was that scary. It's a scary game. It's supposed to put you under stress, right? And there was this really epic moment. I'm not going to talk about spoilers. I will later in a bit, but there was this really epic moment where you just I honestly wanted it to end. I was so done, but uh, yeah, it was pretty trippy. I guess I'll talk about that in a little bit. But the last thing before I guess we head on to spoilers, there's these mechanic, there's those times, right? It's not mechanic, but it's like those segments, those times where you you're getting chased by something, and I felt like the game needed to have more of that. Like there was only like the maximum number of times you're like the whole thing is suspenseful. You're supposed to be running from enemies, and you didn't really get like the times that you did get it, um, it was very like long. You know what I'm saying? It didn't have a lot of little mini ones everywhere. Like the whole game wasn't filled with them. It was more like this personal story of like you figuring out, reading all the terminals, looking at all the notes, doing all that, and then um, that's a hundo percento. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it was when you were looking at the terminals, reading, finding out the lore, you know, reading about the crew, the past stuff, everything that happened. That's like half of the game, to be honest. Maybe like 25 or 20, 30, 40%. It's a pretty long game. It took me like 12 hours of like stream time, to be honest, plus. But I would say if you're gonna run through this from start to finish, maybe like 6 to 8 hours max. I would say of gameplay. There's no DLC that I know of yet, but yeah, this is a really really cool game. I really like it. It was very very fun. Just like I said, those moments I feel like there were not that many. We need to be running, and when you did get it, it was really awesome and epic. But I felt like if you did want to run, you could just go from A to B, and that's it. That could be the whole game for you. You'll have these points of like C, D, E, or F, you know, A to Z, and then some. Um, but I feel like if you really want to just speed run a game, this is not. Don't get me wrong, it's not a speed running game, but you could fly through this game if you wanted to. I was really taking my time, looking around, reading stuff. That's why it took so long. Because you know I'll be streaming this game. Um, but I really think you can really fly through this game. That's the thing. And the stealth mechanics were interesting, but I do have to say the exhilarating part is when you do when they're caught, when they see you, when they're finding you, you're just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like there's really surprising moments. The moment in particular, um, where I wanted to end, we'll talk down a little bit, but there's just this one moment where I was just like there's just certain moments where you just like you expect them to stop chasing you, but they're not gonna stop chasing you. So it didn't have that many chasing parts, but it did the ones that it did have. It was pretty pretty epic because they would chase you for like ever pretty much. But yeah, so I think that's that. You know, talking about mechanics and all that. I think it was a really really good game, fun experience. You know, I definitely think you can fly through it. And some people might say, oh, it kind of lags. I went into it very open minded. I think it's a really good game. Um, and there's definitely, you know, if you're a fan of reading stuff, reading terminals, reading all that, there's definitely a lot of that in there. A lot. And I read pretty much everything I could get my hands on. I was looking at opening all the containers because there's sometimes like little pictures of like the crew. Um, and I would like just read and look at everything and all the containers and all that cool stuff. I would just look at that. But right here, if you don't want to get spoiled, I suggest you stop the video. I will do a rating um, at the end of the spoilers after everything's concluded. I'll put an annotation or something. I don't really know. This is my first. I don't really know. We'll see. Anyways, so yeah, the spoiler time. Spoilers, warning. So I think the story was very awesome. It was very creepy and dark in the sense of it wasn't psychological. It was kind of logical, but it was creepy and dark in the sense that it was like the story and like what happens to the characters. You know, you don't really get too emotional involved. You do get somewhat. I did, um, only because I was kind of reading and like just in the you know just like oh this is awesome. But the characters are pretty cool. I would say they're pretty awesome. I kind of like them, but you know, some would say that they're not all that. Like there's just some weirdness. There's some moments of like good, like oh this is awesome. I could see that. But there's some other moments where it's like okay, maybe I can see that, maybe I can't. I would probably be at complete awe. Like a huge spoiler moment. Um, there's this moment where you don't really transfer bodies. You kind of copy your memory and you put it into this AI, and that's like your new being. but that's not you. You know, say I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna clone myself or something. That's pretty much how it is. Like it's not that's not me, but he's like me. He has all my memories. If perfect cloning existed, he has all my memories. He has all my experiences. He's like me, pretty much, but I'm not him. That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not me, but I'm not him. But we're the same, I guess. That it's kind of like that. You know, you wake up in this year. It's like Toronto, like just 2013. You say yes to this project. You know, blah blah blah, literally blah blah blah. I don't want to say too much. If we can avoid the spoilers, yeah, y'all play this. But anyways, huge spoiler moment. um, I thought a really dark element in this game that made it really really unique. Because there's so many horror games. And I've seen a lot of people play them, even though this is my first like defenseless type, if you will. Well, second. But I can already tell that when it comes to uniqueness and different types of games out there, this one's very unique in the sense that no other game could really give you this sense and experience of I'm not him, this is not me. You know, that's really creepy because it's like you're playing, you wake up, you know, you're playing as this dude, you put your mind, your consciousness into this robot, but that's not you. And then you reawaken, and then that's who you start playing as, and it's really freaking creepy. You find out you're like an AI, you know, in a cyber, but you think you're the dude the whole time until you look like at a mirror or something. It's just like really epic. But that's the sad part, and that's a very kind of trippy horror. Not too scary, but adds a nice little flavor of like unique horrorness and like movie telling or story or like novel stuff. It's cool. It's not like I said, not like ultimate, but it's like really like scary, like oh, you know. But I can personally appreciate it, and I genuinely think, or it's genuine. Like it's just like I personally think that it's like really really freaking cool. But yeah, I thought it was really cool, and it's scary in that sense because you play as this dude. And this is the only spoiler warning or spoiler I'm gonna do. You play as this guy for the whole game. Um, you know, you're playing as him for the whole time, and then you find out you have to switch bodies to another suit. And since you're cyber, you can't just put on the suit, like it won't slide on. It has to like scan, like it has to be pre-scanned to your name, and it's like already to somebody else. So we were like really lucky because there was like boom right there. But yeah, so we have to switch bodies, and when we switch bodies, we hear our old self talking for a moment before he gets put into stasis. And that's when I was kind of like, I saw this coming. I already knew because I've, you know, if you watch, like, if you look into, like, all that science stuff, you already kind of know, you know. There's big words out there, you know. I don't really want to say too much about that, but if you watch short Rick and Morty, you kind of know what's gonna happen, you know. Um, not Operation Phoenix was not the fallback you thought it'd be. pretty much, pretty much, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was interesting. You know, I liked it. Very very cool. Um, but yeah. Anywho's, yeah, that was really like one of the craziest parts was that you know, you're not playing as you, and then that whole time we were playing as him. Like it was like the other lady who's with you. She was like, "Well, you want to put him down?" You know, because there can't usually the attack protagonist was like there can't be two, you know, of me's. That's cruel. Like when you want to put him to sleep, and you know, like I'll let you decide. And we ended up doing that. But that's kind of the trippiest part. You know, for the whole more than half of the game, we were playing as that guy. But since we switched to a new body, quote unquote, memory via memories, not consciousness, we were still that person. There were just two of me's. But he was on stasis, and I turned him off. And that's a trippy feeling. And there's no other way to get around that too. That's how the game is. Like storyline, it's not conscious based. It's memory based. Um, so that was kind of interesting. But we had to put him down. That was very trippy. And we did that twice. We did that twice. So we got to experience and play through all the dark parts. But um, the game ended very nicely. We went to the ultimate point where you need to be, and that's where we were trying to copy ourselves, the last hope to where we need to go or whatever. Um, and yeah, it was awesome. It gave us the most satisfying part that we wanted to see. Let's just say when you watch scary movies or you play a game and you want something, you want to experience something that builds up to, this definitely delivers. You have to wait till after you beat it, and it's like, okay, that was awesome. It's like, watch it. I even called it. I was like, dude, if the game ends right here, that was another dark part right before the credits, dude. I was like, this is dark. Like, it doesn't even explain whatever happened to that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the trippiest part. It doesn't explain what happened to him, which sucks. It does. That's a SUX. But yeah, it doesn't even explain that, and it's like very, very trippy. But I thought it was awesome. It gave us that most satisfying part after the credits, and I thought it was a really, really good game. All in all, uh, you know, it was a very good game. If it was like at 100 capacity, kind of like this video reviewing, it's probably maybe like at 80, kind of like but overall, it was a really, really cool game. I'm not sure what I would rate it. I was so set on a 4.8 or 4.2. Um, you know, but some people would probably call this like a 3, a 2. I personally think it's a 4 point. It has, because it's a very unique, creepy element, and not that many games can do that. So I think it's a huge bonus to me in ratings. But like I said, the only reason it's a 0.8 and not a 5 is just because there could have been more segments to it, but it did have a lot overall, like a lot of exploration. The creepiness that was there was very epic, and it had a very nice build up from like robot things, like to like the way the levels transformed towards the end, and like the enemies. It had a very nice build up, I will say, very, very nice. One that you don't really see a lot in a lot of games, so that's why it gets a very high review. And also with the gameplay, but I guess there could have maybe been more like I'm trying to look for you moments where like you have to hide from something or run away, because it's a very thriller and suspenseful game. But overall, 4.8, I think it's very awesome. Good game. If you want to try something out, or if you're not into horror survival games where you're defenseless and you can't do anything yet, you just have a flashlight. I will say the running mechanics are very satisfying. You run actually pretty fast. I'm not gonna lie. But if you want to like hop into this category, I think this is a very like good one to start off with, because it's not too much, and it's just very thriller, and it's not gonna like scare the heck out of you, like, oh, like if you're trying to scratch the surface, but you just can't do that. I think this is a game to do that with, um, if you want to like kind of build up to those crazy ones. But yeah, thanks again, everybody. Hopefully you have a good one. Appreciate y'all watching this video. It does mean a lot. Hopefully I'll see y'all later. And yeah, peace out. Feel free to follow me on Twitch, where I stream, twitch.tv/salsa_blend.